So our filler is dry on our base, and our base has now had a coat of burnt umber paint. Hopefully you can see that. So our base is now brown. So what we're now going to do is highlight our base, all the little ridges you left in your filler. We are now going to highlight, firstly with yellow ochre, and then finally with Iraqi sand. And the brush I'm using for this is a small flat brush. Now I will say here, don't use a good brush, because painting filler with a flat brush will screw your brush up almost immediately. So don't use a good brush for this job. Use something that's seen better days but still usable, that you can keep specifically for this job. Now you don't need very much of this paint on your brush. In fact, almost nothing. Is your hair bothering me on my... I see something in my glasses. Not to worry. Do you ever get that? Sometimes you see a hair to the side and you think, and you try and you can't find it. It's like, anyhow, you just need the merest amount on your brush. If you think there's too much on your brush, take a piece of tissue or paper towel and just wipe the brush over. This yellow ochre, I'm not adding any water to this, and this is a case where I actually am using my T-plate, because it's much better than a paper palette for doing all this business. If you had a paper palette and tried sort of doing a lot of that, you screw up the paper palette. So for this instance, I do use a T-plate, and you just want to run this, if you can, come on, over the top of the ridges. You know, you're not aiming to cover the whole thing. You just want to catch them little ridges in the ground that you made when you applied your filler. Now, some people will tell you I would use different colors to this, which is fair enough. Everybody to their own. But for me, it's raw umber. There, that's it. I don't know whether you can see that. Probably can't see that. I'll give you a close-up in a moment. For me, the colors are burnt umber, yellow ochre, and Iraqi sand. So just wash my brush out, and we will apply our second highlight, which is Iraqi sand. And we're going to apply even less of this, so you can be even more sparing with this. But I think you'll agree, this is, that was artist's yellow ochre out of a tube, but this is Vallejo Iraqi sand. Like I said to you before, I'm not fussy what paints I use, provided they're good quality. So if it comes out of a bottle or a tube, I'm really not that bothered as long as it's good quality. So we're going to be even more sparing with the Iraqi sand. Just a little. I think you'll agree that it does give it a pretty good ground effect. So that's our ground. Let me wash my brush out a moment. Always use plenty of brush washes when you're painting to avoid paint drying on the bristles and fouling up the bristles. We'll need that in a moment. And if you can run to it, as I told you before, get yourself a pot of this, which is Colorful Arts Brush Cleaner and Preserver. I can't remember what I paid for this, but whatever I paid for it, well worth the money. Well worth the money. See, here's another flat brush that I've been using for similar types of jobs, and you can see, I hope you can see how that's screwed the ends of the bristles right over it. It's to all intents and purpose, ruined it, but it's used for what it's used for. So, right, let us see if I can give you a close-up of this ground effect. Let's have a look. Now, I don't know how well you'll see that. Let's see if I can zoom in. Right, let's give some focus to this.